Welcome to Next Gen Manufacturing. Today we're going to talk about a choice that honestly can make or break your shop's efficiency and capabilities. We're talking Cobalt versus Carbide drill bits.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll talk about the challenges you're probably facing right now. Then we'll meet our two contenders, Cobalt and Carbide. After that, we'll put them head-to-head in a showdown. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with how you can make the right call for your shop.
So, if you're a machinist, you know this all too well. Every single day, you're up against this universe of different materials, and each one has its own quirks, its own problems.
I mean, look at this list. We're talking about stuff like Inconel. Those nickel-based superalloys are tough for a reason. Or abrasive composites, not to mention tool steels like D2. Trying to tackle these with a standard off-the-shelf drill bit? It's like you're just asking for broken tools. The reality is, the materials we're working with today are just on another level.
And that's where our first contender comes into the picture. It's not a brand new invention, but it's a super important evolution of an old reliable, the Cobalt drill bit.
Right, so this isn't some space-age tech. It's basically a souped-up version of high-speed steel, or HSS. You take that standard HSS and you add a little bit of cobalt, somewhere between 5 and 8%. And that small addition, it totally transforms the material, giving it a massive boost in hardness and, crucially, heat resistance.
Okay, so check this out. On paper, going from like 62 to 67 on the Rockwell C scale might not sound like a world of difference. But trust me, in the real world, it's huge. That extra hardness, plus the ability to handle way more heat, means you can run these Cobalt drills up to 50% faster than a standard HSS bit. That's a serious upgrade.
So, what's the bottom line here? Cobalt is a massive step up from your standard drills. Your tools last longer, you can run your machine faster, and here's a key point. It's more forgiving than some of the fancier stuff. It's a real workhorse, perfect for a ton of different jobs.
Okay, so Cobalt is a great step up. But now, let's talk about the material that really truly changed the entire manufacturing game. Let's talk about tungsten carbide. So the very first thing you got to wrap your head around with solid carbide is this number, 82 HRC. That is just, it's off the charts. We're not just in a different league anymore. We're playing a completely different sport.
Yeah, Cobalt on steroids is a perfect way to put it. This isn't just a small incremental improvement. This is a quantum leap in what a cutting tool can do. This is what made next-generation machining possible.
And look, it's not just about being harder. It's about completely rewriting the rulebook for how you drill holes. Running 4 to 8 times faster is insane. But the real game changer might be the through-tool coolant. It means you can just go. No more pecking in and out to clear chips. You drill deep holes in one clean shot. That's an unbelievable boost to efficiency.
All right, so there you have it. On one side, we've got the reliable, tough-as-nails workhorse. On the other, the next-gen, high-speed game changer. So, how do they really stack up against each other?
It's the question everyone asks, right? Which one is better? But the truth is, there's no simple answer. As you're about to see, it completely depends on what you're trying to do. It's not about the best tool, it's about the right tool for the job.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. You look at hardness and speed, carbide wins. No contest. It's way harder, way faster. But, and this is a big but, all that hardness makes it brittle. It can shatter. Cobalt, on the other hand, is tougher. It has a little bit of flex. So if your setup isn't perfectly rigid, say you're using a hand drill or an older machine, Cobalt can take a bit of abuse that would just destroy a carbide bit. Oh, and it's also a lot easier on the wallet up front.
Okay, but if you're talking about making money in a production environment, this is the number that matters, metal removal rate. When you have the right rigid setup, a carbide drill can remove 10, even 20 times more material than a Cobalt one in the same amount of time. That's just staggering. That's how you save massive amounts of time and money when you're making hundreds or thousands of parts. Okay, so we've got all these specs and numbers. That's great. But how do you actually take all this and make a smart, practical decision on the shop floor?
Here it is. This is basically your decision-making cheat sheet. Think of it this way. Cobalt is your go-to for one-off jobs, prototypes, or any kind of repair work where things are a little unpredictable. It's your flexible, cost-effective option. But if you're in high-volume production, you've got a rock-solid CNC machine, and every second counts, that's when you invest in carbide. That's when productivity is the name of the game.
So really, it all comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, look at the job. What are you cutting and how many are you making?
Second, look at your setup. Is your machine rigid enough to handle the demands of carbide? And third, you gotta do the math. Will the incredible productivity of carbide actually pay for its higher price tag on this particular job? It's not about which tool is better overall. It's about which tool is smarter for you, right now.
At the end of the day, your tools really do define your limits. If you're shortchanging your cutting tools, you're shortchanging your expensive machine's potential. So it leaves you with a really important question to think about. Is your current tooling holding you back from hitting that next level of performance?